Hi, this is Jody Adler of Auntie Jody's Helpful Hints and How Dare You, and you're listening to the VoiceOver Marketing Podcast.
This is the VoiceOver Marketing Podcast, episode number 50. This episode of the VoiceOver Marketing Podcast is sponsored by thevoiceoverathlete.com and the book Voice Over Legal by Rob Siglan-Paglia. You don't think you need this book? Here's a question for you. Have you ever been asked to do a celebrity impression for a commercial? If you have, you might want to think twice, unless you live in a particular state. You can find out why impersonations can be a problem and why you could get sued if you do one, and which state is exempt from all of that on page 28 of the VoiceOver Legal book. Now, we've arranged a discount for you to save up to $5. That's up to 20% off the list price of the book, and you can support the podcast at the same time. If you're a voice artist and you're treating your business as a business, you need this book. Just go to voiceoverlegal.com. When you go to voiceoverlegal.com, enter the promo code VMP at checkout to save $5 off the cost of the book. That's promo code V as in voice, M as in marketing, and P as in podcast at checkout to save $5 off the cost of the book, and you'll support the podcast at the same time. Thanks. Hey there, it's John. How are you today? Thanks for spending some time with me today. 50 episodes of the podcast. Jeez, that seems like a lot. And it's taken a while to get here. And over those 50 episodes, we have had, as of this recording, 55,413 downloads of the 49 previous episodes of the VoiceOver Marketing Podcast. Various numbers of all of those episodes. Thank you so much. It means a lot to me, and thanks for your great comments. In honor of the 50th episode, we decided we'd do something different, and I mentioned this in the previous episode. My bride, the lovely Anne, who you've heard me talk about, is turning the tables on me and is interviewing me. And so we're going to go right to that interview. It was actually a cool interview. It was fun. I know she put some time and effort into putting the questions together. I hope you enjoy it. I went through the audio after we recorded it, and we recorded it in our living room at home, not in a studio. So there's a little bit of an echo in the background, but you can handle it. And I was listening to myself, and I thought, wow, I was really relaxed. My game face was off, but it was good. It was a good conversation and pretty typical of the banter that the two of us share at home. So I think you're going to enjoy the interview. Just a quick heads up on the next couple of episodes that we have coming up. My guest, and I'll have this episode out this week as well, my guest for the next episode, episode 51, is going to be Eric Reynolds. Some very, very cool things that he does to research his clients. And we're going to talk to him about that. And after that, the following week, David Lasauskas, the mobile voiceover talent. And I think after that, we've got Bill DeWeese coming on. So we've got a lot of great content lined up for you. Thank you for listening. Thanks for sharing it with all your friends in the voiceover and production industries. It's very much appreciated. So let's get right to that interview where Anne interviews me for episode 50 of the VoiceOver Marketing Podcast. Test 1, 2. We're counting. We're recording. Okay.
Test 1, 2.
Hey.
Hey.
We're here in our living room.
Yes, we are. I'm Ann, and I am running the show today.
That's awesome.
I am interviewing John on his own VoiceOver Marketing Podcast.
Thanks for doing this. Yeah, well, this is the 50th episode, and I thought we'd do something a little different. And so
we are.
Yeah, here we are. If you hear a car go by, we're sitting in our living room. So that's what it is, but we're doing this. Anyway, thanks, babe.
Okay, ready?
Yes, you're very cute.
Thank you.
Okay.
I hope my questions are interesting enough for the crowd. I tried to make some of them entertaining, some of them more serious.
Okay.
So.
And I have no idea what the questions are.
Right. You've seen me working on them, though.
Yeah, well, you've asked me about, like, the types of questions you should ask. So I know you've taken this very seriously.
Yeah.
So, but yes and no. Go ahead. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
So if you didn't work in radio, what do you think you'd do for a career?
Now?
Yes, now.
Well, over the last 4 or 5 years, and I've talked about this in the podcast, I've developed a real interest in health and wellness. So I think I would like to work, and it's the reason why I started the VoiceOver Athlete blog, voiceoverathlete.com. I think I would like to help people become more healthy. And not necessarily because
what I do.
Well, you're a health promotion expert. I mean, you've got a master's certified health education specialist.
Yes.
MCHES.
That's a certification.
That's a certification.
But I do have a master's in health promotion.
You have 2 master's degrees.
Yes, but one's in health promotion.
You're smart.
Wicked smart.
Wicked smart.
Wicked smart.
Yeah. And cute. I'm sorry. I can't help myself. Anyway, I think I would get involved with stuff like that, with healthy eating, well-being, helping people get out of pain, not necessarily through becoming a chiropractor or anything like that, but teaching people. There's a lot of research now, and I've learned a lot of it in neurology, neuro-based physical training, in that the nervous system basically controls everything, and the inputs that we take in through our nervous system, through our eyes, through our vestibular system, our sense of balance, all contribute to our well-being and our ability to move through the world. And the tagline for the voiceoverathlete.com is "A healthy body means a healthy voice." And I was being very successful with my voiceover business, but it came at a cost. I was making money, but you remember, it was like I was up late at night, and then I'd put a Post-it note on the bathroom mirror, say, set the alarm for 9, and then I'd get up.
What time I was supposed to get you up?
Yeah, or you were supposed to leave. You always leave before I do. But, I'd be up till 3 o'clock in the morning editing in the attic. And then, I think, what was I eating? Chocolate chips or something like that? It was terrible. I was being terrible to myself. And then I show up to Maine at your dad's house, and we go down the road to pick up the pizza that you ordered. And
oh, yeah.
Yeah, I wound up having kidney stones and being rushed to the hospital in an ambulance.
That was fun. That was a good time.
Yeah. So, it was at that point, I was like, you know what? This isn't good. I got to change this. And, you struggle with these things, because I was always very active as a kid, and kind of got away from that. I lost a lot of that as I started to build a career. I've been rediscovering that, and it's amazing. Really, the human body is a miracle. It's amazing what it can do. And it's amazing how good you can actually feel when you start to take care of yourself again. If the radio thing all went to kaput, and the voiceover career went south, that's what I'd do.
Okay. You frequently say that you live in a cartoon world.
Yes.
So if you could go into any cartoon and live there,
yeah, what
cartoon would you choose?
That's a cool question. First thing that pops into my head is the Roadrunner cartoon. I'm not a big desert guy. I love the ocean, obviously. The beach. I love trees and mountains. But for some reason, I think the art in the Roadrunner cartoon intrigues me. Like these huge boulders balancing on the top of a very thin spire, that look like if you just tapped them with your finger, they'd fall over. The Acme Corporation, where the Wile E. Coyote orders these wacky contraptions to try and take out the Roadrunner, and they wind up, destroying the coyote instead of the Roadrunner. The Roadrunner just sort of looks at him with bemusement and sees all these efforts that the coyote's taking to catch him. It's just this crazy thing, and the laws of physics are defied in the Roadrunner.
Could you put up with him beeping all the time, though?
Beep, beep.
I wouldn't be able to cope with that.
No. Yeah, I suppose that would get a little annoying.
Yeah.
And that whole little ricochet sound when they That would probably get a little old too. But it would be fun to run through a cliff and just have the outline of your body as the whole.
Yeah, I can see that.
Or be able to paint a tunnel on the
and
wall.
then step into it.
Or have a truck run you down. Not that you want to get run over by a truck, but...
But then you just get up and keep functioning.
Yeah, you put a little X bandage on your cheek and move on. You would be indestructible. You could fall from cliffs and nothing would happen to you. I mean, you'd get hurt. You'd have like this big goose egg that would pop on the top of your head. And then in the next scene, it'd be all gone.
Okay. I can see that. All right. So who's your favorite cartoon character?
Oh, boy.
Or if you could make one. I'll make you pick a favorite one then, and then I'll make you combine different characteristics of one, because I know you probably can't pick one.
No. I mean, for some reason, I love Hanna-Barbera cartoons. I liked Wally Gator, Magilla Gorilla, Touche Turtle. They don't see those a lot. Underdog.
I was going to say Underdog.
Yeah,
favorites.
Or Rocky and Bullwinkle. There's a lot of depth to those cartoons. There's a lot of stuff there. Those are...
I liked the Walrus guy.
Tennessee Tuxedo and Chumley.
Tennessee Tuxedo and Chumley. I like them.
Okay, Tennessee. I love that one. Deputy Dog was kind of like a love-hate thing. I could do all the voices, but it was just kind of a dumb cartoon. But Yogi Bear... How can you not like Yogi Bear?
Right.
Bugs Bunny. But the first character that pops into my head is Yosemite Sam.
As your favorite?
Yeah, I love Yosemite Sam.
Not Marvin the Martian.
Oh, I like Marvin too, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think Yosemite got a little more exposure than Marvin. Oh, I'm going to blow it up.
Yeah, I always thought you liked Marvin.
I do like Marvin. It's my XK-49 space modulator.
Yeah.
It's good stuff. He's so understated.
I like Tweety.
Tweety's good. Sylvester's good too. Play fun. And my favorite was the one was Sylvester with his son, and like Sylvester would always see the kangaroo and think it was like a jackpot. Like, oh my God, I found the biggest mouse in the world. And he'd try and catch this kangaroo that looked like a giant mouse, and the kangaroo would just kick the crap out of him. And then every time the sun would come around, all he'd see was this tiny little mouse and say, "This is what's beating up my dad."
Right.
I liked that one a lot.
I liked the big guy. I can't think of what his name was. Who I want to hug you and squeeze you and.
Oh yeah, he was that. That was the Jekyll and Hyde of Tweety.
Tweety didn't become him though.
I would love him and hug him and kiss him and call him George.
Who was that guy?
Who was that big orange one?
Yeah.
No, okay, no, so that wasn't... Yeah, I don't know.
I liked him.
Somebody out there will know who that is. Who was that character in the Looney Tunes, the orange one, the big hairy thing? It was just big ball, tall... Yeah, I don't know. I'll think about it after we stop recording.
I'm not feeling like that guy was the big... I don't know.
No, it wasn't Tweety. It wasn't the Jekyll Hyde one.
No. Okay. No. Right. Moving on.
Yeah.
Let's see. If you could eat one food for the rest of your life, what food would you choose? I'll even let you pick a breakfast food, a lunch food, and a dinner food.
A different meal?
Yes.
Oh, wow. Okay. And I can eat it without impunity? Or with impunity? With impunity,
yes.
I don't get sick if I eat.
You don't get sick.
And my heart's fine, my blood pressure.
You can do whatever you want.
I don't get huge.
No, you don't have any health ramifications from it.
All right. I'd probably, for breakfast, I would have bacon and eggs. Probably more bacon than eggs.
Okay.
Because who doesn't like bacon? And I do like fruit. Is it a meal or is it a food? Just one item?
Well, maybe I'll let the sides change, but you have to pick one main course.
All right, bacon for breakfast.
Okay.
Yeah, just this whole salty sweet combo thing.
Okay.
Really good.
What would you pick for
chewy.
Lunch?
For what?
Lunch.
Oh, boy. This is going to sound really lame, but again, I can eat it without... It's going to sound terrible. My trainer's going to hate me. He's going to be disgusted.
No, he won't. You don't think
German
he wants to
bologna.
eat nasty things?
German bologna.
German bologna. I'm disgusted. Never mind your drink.
Or a hot dog for lunch every day. Hot dogs.
Okay.
Yeah, nice hot dogs.
Yeah, that would not be my choice. But
What would
you know
you
what?
pick?
It's not about me.
No. What would you have? Pizza?
For lunch every day?
Well, you'd have ice cream for lunch every day.
Yeah, I was thinking I might have to have ice cream. All the different flavors, and I can put different toppings on. That probably shouldn't be my main course, though. It wouldn't be very healthy.
No. Okay. So, yeah, I'd probably... Go ahead.
Okay, no, go ahead.
And for dinner, I mean, it's terrible. I'm a real carnivore. Probably, again, if I could eat anything and it wouldn't make me sick, I'd probably have buffalo wings with blue cheese.
Okay.
Not healthy. I know. No, none of it is healthy. But, you know, all salty and sweet and chewy and good stuff. This is a totally different dynamic.
Okay, let's see, what's next?
You've got it all on your laptop.
If you could have any superpower.
If I superpower?
Yep.
Like in a superhero kind of a thing?
Yeah.
I think I'd like to be able to fly. Yep, fly.
How come?
Just because you'd have so much more freedom. You could go over things. You wouldn't have to sit in traffic anytime. You could get places faster. You could avoid things like trouble. You could like go up to Maine. You could fly to Maine. You could fly. You could go anywhere. Yeah, you could fly over oceans. You wouldn't have to worry about swimming. You know.
But you could swim if you wanted to.
I suppose so, but my superpower would be flying. Yeah, you could go to the top of a mountain. You could be up there with the birds. You could see things from a different perspective. Mm-hmm. You know, things that you can't. I mean, being stuck on the ground is so confining. You know me and hawks. I love hawks. And
yeah.
So the ability to fly, I think, would be...
Well, that's why I didn't ask if you could turn into an animal and then turn back into a human. I knew it would be a bird.
Yeah, it'd be a bird of prey. I mean, I don't want to be some chickadee somewhere or a finch.
Finches are nice. Okay.
You'd have to be, you know, robins. They're
Not
nice.
a pigeon.
No, I wouldn't want to be a pigeon. You know, a hawk or a falcon or an eagle.
More majestic.
Majestic and top of the food chain kind of a thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'd go with being an owl.
It's good to be king.
Because I'd like to be able to turn my head all the way around.
But you already do.
I hadn't noticed.
I'm kidding.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you could have a meal, your buffalo wings or your breakfast or whatever you want to have, your big fat plate of bacon, with 3 people,
Yeah. Oh.
living or dead,
Yeah.
from past history or whatever, who would you invite to come to dinner with you? And they need to show up. They don't get to say, no, I'm not coming.
So this would happen. It would take place.
Yes.
That's easy. It would be the Revolutionary era. It would be Benjamin Franklin, John Adams, and I'm trying to decide between George Washington or Thomas Jefferson. I think I'd lean toward Washington's an interesting character, but John Adams really was so. I mean, he did so many things and so many things on his own that he made a lot of decisions but they were really good decisions. He was very well educated, very learned. I would love to talk to him. And Benjamin Franklin, who is an interesting character. I've read and studied both of these people. So I'd be fascinated to have a conversation with them. And the third person, maybe not George Washington, because he didn't really talk a lot. He was very quiet. He took in a lot of information. You know, he was more of a listener. Uh-huh. I think, I'm trying to decide if I want another president or if I want a British monarch.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
Yeah, maybe a musician like Bach. Well, no, you know what? I'll make it different. I'll have a conversation with a totally different genre, but music. Neil Peart, the drummer for Rush.
With those guys? With
Yeah, because
John Adams
Neil Peart is very well educated, very, very well read, loves literature, and I think we would have a fascinating conversation.
Okay.
Yeah, that would be really cool.
All right.
Because I think everybody would admire everybody else's talents.
All right.
Because all of them were masters at what they did or do. Yeah. And I think everybody could appreciate everybody else's dedication to their efforts. I think that would be really cool.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
Yeah. And they're all men, I know, I'm sorry.
Well.
But, it's not going to be like Oprah. Sorry.
It doesn't have to be like Oprah. You could still find some interesting women to have conversation with, but I'd probably only invite women if I was having lunch, so.
Yeah, probably would, wouldn't you?
Yes.
Oh, that's fine.
I'm quite sure I would.
Yeah.
Okay, so I know you have a bunch of characters in your head because when we'll be out places, sometimes they'll just come out.
Yes, that's frequently. Even in the house.
Chat with me. Yeah. Sometimes we'll just be driving in the car, or we might be in the kitchen, or you might be preparing dinner, and you'll start a whole conversation with yourself, and then I'll walk in and participate.
It's very true.
So.
It's one of the reasons why I knew I liked you.
How many characters do you think are in your head?
Oh, gosh. There was one time I was going to actually catalog them. Easily 50.
Oh, I don't think I've met all of them then.
No, there's a lot of different ones.
Some of them in development.
There's always something in development. Sometimes I'll work into a voice and I'll actually surprise myself. I'll be like, where did this one come from? You've heard me say that.
Yes.
And it's like, oh, wow.
Say, I got to write this down. This is good stuff.
Yeah. Or I'll be like, oh, wow, this is a different place. I haven't been here before. And I'm like, where did this come from? And then I'll sit there and I'll try and stay there, beyond one or two lines, but try and develop it.
One of my favorite things, though, is when we're someplace and you're doing character development. Like, because we'll be observing someone who's just, you're like, oh, this is good stuff. I gotta work this into a character.
Yes, yeah.
And I'm usually frightened.
But I'm entertained
now, please.
No, this is good stuff. Well, you did tell me on our first date it's all about the entertainment value.
You're absolutely right.
Yep. And you kept me around.
Okay, so of all the characters in your head, I know who my favorite is, but who's your favorite?
Oh, really?
Yes.
I want to know who your favorite is.
Nope, you have to tell me first.
Well, there's a couple that I'm with all the time. There's like Louis the Gizmo. Mm-hmm. Yeah. This guy, he talks like this a lot. He's a down-to-earth, salt of the earth kind of person. Works really hard, but he's a fast thinker. But probably not somebody that I would, I'd spend a lot of time, but I'd be bemused by him.
As am I.
I'd like talking to him, but then it would be like, Louis would say, hey, what are you doing Friday? Oh, I'm busy, Louis. I don't think I want to go have dinner with Louis. Like, little Louis goes a long way.
I would agree, because Louis come out when we're driving places sometimes, and then I finally ask for Louis to go away.
Yeah, you do.
Like Louis is. He's entertaining at the beginning, and it can be funny, and then you're like, okay, I've had enough.
Give it a drink.
I've got stuff I've got to get done. Yeah. I can't listen to Louis anymore.
And then there's this lady here who kind of just she's got your best interests at heart. She's from Massachusetts, Boston, and she's overly concerned about your well-being, but she's kind of misguided in a humorous way. She used to smoke, but she quit a while ago, but not before she did permanent damage to her voice.
Yes.
Yeah. She's based on a couple of people. She's kind of a mix between some in-laws and, to a small extent, my mother, but not really. The Boston accent is my mother, because my mom she would say, no, I don't, but
she does.
She has a wicked Boston accent. You have reached Fawa 8 Fawa, Fawa 8.
And I won't do the rest of it, but...
Please leave a message. Thank you.
I love my mom. Mom, if you're listening, I love you. Anyway.
What about Anthony?
Anthony from Revere. Yeah, Anthony. Anthony's not too far from Louis the Gizmo, but Anthony's up here. He's more nasal. He's louder.
He's a little younger, too.
He's younger. And he's, he drives an IROC Z. And he's wearing a tank top T-shirt, with the hairy chest, gold chain with a horn on it, everything. He's there. Yeah. Anthony. He's got like a short cropped haircut. Got a big smile on his face all the time, like, hey, where's the next good time coming?
Anthony isn't ever going to grow up, is he?
No. He's Peter Pan.
Yeah, and he's always going to be driving the IROC around the beach.
Even at 50.
Yeah.
He's going to be like those Elvis impersonators.
That's what I figured.
He's permanently stuck in the 80s.
That's not a bad place to be stuck.
No, I like the 80s.
If you want to be stuck somewhere, go ahead. Get stuck in the 80s.
He's wearing those acid wash jeans, too.
With his members only jacket?
No, it's just that sleeveless tank top tucked in to his acid wash jeans and his leather high tops, white, with the shoelaces untied.
He was really the 80s.
And he's got a little gold bracelet thing, too, on his left wrist. And a pinky ring.
Does he live at home?
Yeah. He's the first millennial. Lives in the basement.
He's the first millennial.
Yeah. Anyway.
It's what millennials.
But yeah, he's in a tank top t-shirt, yeah. Okay. It's tucked into his acid wash jeans. Did I say that already?
Yes, you did, and I bet it looks good.
Oh, yeah. He hangs out with Donna.
Yeah.
Donna and Anthony.
Yeah, Donna's one of my friends.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like Donna.
Well, you do a good Donna. Remember the time we were at Mohegan Sun for the weekend and we were just going through all the gift shops pretending we were Donna and Anthony?
Yes.
Hey, Donna! Look at this!
Good over here.
Look how much this is! People would spend this?
Yeah, the staff wasn't very happy with us.
I can't believe how much they want for this paperclip.
It was good. It was entertaining.
Yeah, we did have fun.
All right, now I'm going to give you a list.
Okay.
You get to pick one.
Oh, is this a to-do list?
No.
Okay.
No, it's not a honey-do list.
Okay.
Okay, ready?
Yeah.
So Bugs Bunny or Roadrunner?
Roadrunner.
Kermit or Miss Piggy?
Miss Piggy, Frank Oz rules.
Okay. Larry, Moe, or Curly?
Mo.
Really? Moe?
Yeah.
Because he was more in charge?
Yeah.
What about Shemp? What if I threw Shemp into it?
Shemp, talk about an afterthought. He's kind of like the equivalent of Curly Joe.
Yeah.
Sorry, Shemp.
Okay.
Yeah.
Kramer or Newman?
On Seinfeld? Mm-hmm. Ooh. Oh. Yeah, definitely Kramer. He's more physical, and Newman's just annoying. He just looks like he smells. Kramer looks like he smells too, like he never washes his hair.
Look like he washes.
Michael Richards, I think, is his name.
Yeah.
Yeah. Talented guy, but a little
over the edge.
Yeah. I'd get annoyed with Kramer fast, and Newman would annoy me too. But if I had to pick between the two,
what about George or Jerry?
Honestly, I think George is a more interesting character than Jerry is. So, based on that, I'd probably go with George.
Okay.
Yeah. Jerry's, he's the one in charge. Nothing bad ever happens to him. So it's not realistic. And I think George is he's got better adventures.
Yeah, George always just seems to do the wrong thing, though.
Yeah, and that's why he finally comes to the realization that he should do the opposite. And he turns it around. But he still has he has this opportunity to date Marissa Tomei.
Okay. You can't turn
go
down
wrong
that
there.
opportunity.
No.
Okay, Angel or Spike? You don't even remember, from my favorite TV show.
Oh, Buffy.
Yes.
Yeah. Angel or Spike? I got to go with Spike. Yeah. I know you were a big Angel fan.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll go with Spike.
Okay.
Because he's conflicted. Angel is too, but he's like the goody two. That whole, oh, Buffy, I can't live without you thing. Just
was too much for you.
Too much, yeah. It's like, oh, get on with it. We know you're a vampire. We know if you taste her blood, it's all going to go bad. It's the forbidden love.
That's good stuff.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Bono or, I can't think of the lead singer in Kiss.
Gene Simmons.
Or Gene Simmons, yeah.
Bono or Gene Simmons? Gene Simmons.
How come?
I like Gene Simmons. I think I'm a red, white, and blue kind of guy. And Gene Simmons came over. His mother is I think a survivor from the concentration camps, I think. But he's someone who's been very successful, and he loves America. Mm-hmm. He loves being an American, and he loves the opportunity that we have in this country. So, yeah, Gene Simmons.
Okay.
He's also a great businessman and an entertainer. He figured out how to differentiate the band Kiss. He worked it in with comic books, actually. That's what their whole costume thing is based on, is his love of comic books. And he built a fan base, and the licensing that they have for all of these products is just brilliant.
Okay. Elizabeth Cady Stanton, Amelia Bloomer, or Susan B. Anthony?
Oh. Are those the ladies from the Seneca Falls trip that we took to the Women's Museum?
Yes, they're the statue of the chance encounter.
Right. And
you had your picture taken.
I stood and looked bewildered like they do in the statue.
Yes, you pretended like you chanced along as an encounter as well.
I happened upon them like, oh my gosh, look who's here. Which way to the ice cream store?
No, they were discussing how to get women the right to vote.
They look, well, okay, I'm going to shut up.
You might have been, if you were there, walked up and asked them how to get to the ice cream store.
Yeah.
And they would have been
and I don't really even like ice cream. I mean, it's okay.
They would have been like pushing you away.
People are like, what? You don't like ice cream? It's okay.
How can you be a New Englander and not like ice cream?
I know. It's just not my thing. I'm more of a chocolate chip cookie kind of guy.
Well,
or a blonde brownie. Which is a cakier version of a chocolate chip cookie. So which one of those? Probably just because I know Susan B. Anthony the best.
So you'd pick her?
I'd pick her.
Okay.
And why are we picking her?
Just pick one.
Just pick. Just pick a person.
Just the whole list.
Who I like the best. Yeah. Like, is this superlatives time? Like, most likely to succeed.
You would choose between. Just a random.
For what?
Which would you pick?
Choose between for what purpose? Just to pick a name?
Well, Bugs Bunny or Roadrunner. Like, who do you like
better? I don't know anything about Susan B. Anthony or Eliza Bloomer except that underwear is named after her.
Amelia Bloomer.
Okay, who's Eliza? Elizabeth Cady Stanton. What is she famous for?
Elizabeth Cady Stanton. She actually wrote the document for the Seneca Falls Convention.
And for the edification of the people listening to the podcast, what was the Seneca Falls Convention?
It was a convention called to get women the right to vote. So they basically did a women's Declaration of Independence.
Oh, okay. Did I learn that when we were in the museum?
Probably.
That was actually kind of interesting.
On the side of the building, it was a whole declaration.
Yeah, and it was actually kind of important because they couldn't own property, right?
Correct.
Yeah, I mean, and so if they inherited, they couldn't inherit. So like if their father died or their husband died and they didn't have any children or like a son to pass it on to, what would happen?
Usually brother would get it or something.
If there was one.
Right.
Well, what if they were like an only child and the daughter and the father died?
I guess they better hope they were married.
Yeah, okay. So, I mean, yeah.
Now, I don't know if that case, though, if they were allowed to keep it. I don't know. I don't know what would happen. That's a darn good question.
But that was one of the issues, right?
Yes, but a women's right to vote at that point was really the big issue.
Right, but voting was tied to property ownership at one point.
Yes, because the state of... What state were we in?
Wyoming.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
They were the first ones to allow women to vote and to own property.
I remember that. We learned that when we went to
the United States
Cheyenne.
gave women the right to vote.
Yes.
Yes, because I jumped out and had my picture taken in front of that statue.
Yeah, that was a good trip. Went to the daddy of them all. So Susan B. Anthony.
Okay.
Yeah, and if you haven't noticed, my wife she's a Smithy, Smith College grad, and you're very, very interested.
I like women's history.
Yes, you're very interested in women's history.
I also like World War II history. Yeah,
you are a history buff, as am I. So we're very curious people, which is, inquisitive people. We're curious too. Look at those two in Boston, yeah. Anyway, okay, Susan B. Anthony.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's the end of my pick one.
Okay.
Did I already ask you who's your favorite actor or favorite actress? I don't think I did.
No. Favorite actor.
Or better yet.
Okay.
What characteristics from different actors do you like so that you'd want to take components of them and build the perfect actor?
Ooh.
It's a more interesting question.
Well, like musicians, it's about the talent. It's not the person. It's not like I need to know what they're having for breakfast or anything like that. It's, or who's married and if they're getting divorced. I could give a rat's patoot about that.
Okay.
But I really like a talented person. There's these... So actor, the ability to get lost in their role and not remember who the actor is. I mean, like Ben Affleck. I mean, it's like, there's Ben Affleck in the movie again. And even when you're watching the movie, it's like, yeah, Ben Affleck is pretending to be something or other. The only movie that I kind of got lost in his role was the movie where they were getting the American hostages out of Iran.
Yes.
I can't remember the name of that movie. But that was a good movie that he was in. It's probably the only movie I've seen him in that I actually liked it. Most of the time, it's terrible.
But that doesn't answer who's
my
your
favorite. There are so many. I'd have to say Michael Caine from the UK. I really like him. Robert Duvall is awesome. He was in The Godfather. I mean, Al Pacino. James Gandolfini, if we're sticking with the mob boss kind of thing. Robert De Niro, man, amazing. Robert Duvall, I already said. James Garner, entertainer. Johnny Carson, loved Johnny Carson. Mimics, like comics, loved Rich Little. Gallagher, who's been on this podcast, when those guys were on some variety show, it was appointment viewing. I had to see it. Tim Conway, Harvey Korman. We're sticking with guys because you said actor, male actor, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So all of those people. Modern day, Sean Connery. Alec Baldwin, he's a nut job, but he's a really good actor too.
Okay. What was your favorite actress?
Oh, same thing, but Donna Reed from It's a Wonderful Life. The Donna Reed Show, terrible. She was just beautiful. She was just a stunning woman. Beautiful.
Mm-hmm. Kind of like me.
Yeah, well, you
there you go.
Yeah, you're gorgeous too. And you're here. Donna Reed's
that
gone.
That makes me better.
Yeah. Edie Falco, probably one of the best actresses out there. She is someone. There are some scenes in The Sopranos where, and I love The Sopranos.
I know.
And a lot of people love The Sopranos, but I own the whole series and I watch it, and it's like a study for me. There are some scenes in The Sopranos where the scene when she finally has had enough of Tony's infidelity and she throws him out of the house, and I think it's the end of season 4, it's the end of season 4, and season 5 is all about their separation and reconciliation. And that scene where she's just had it and get out of the house, I don't want to ever see you anymore. And the distress in her acting, and she's like distraught and sobbing, racking sobs. And James Gandolfini too. He's sweating. And I've seen it so many. You just get pulled into that scene, and then if you step back from it and you go, "Oh my gosh, they're acting," and it's just so real. And you think, I hope they did that all in one take. I don't know how they could physically call that up more than once. And to be able to nail it, I don't know how she got herself there.
She's a good actress.
She's wonderful. And she's a Nurse Jackie, and she plays this character in Nurse Jackie that you're rooting for, but you hate her. You're disgusted with her, but you're also rooting for her to turn her life around too at the same time. It's a great character. So Edie Falco, hands down, is probably my favorite actress.
What about Mary Tyler Moore?
Mary Tyler Moore, yeah. She was. I thought
you would say.
Well, yeah. I was trying to stay current, but Mary Tyler Moore, Carol Burnett. I haven't even gotten into
the entertainers. I just act actress.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah.
Okay.
Billy Crystal, Mike Myers, Dana Carvey. Oh man, those guys are brilliant. When those guys were all together on Saturday Night Live in the mid '80s, that was probably the best cast. Phil Hartman. Phil Hartman drew the artwork for the band America. I
didn't know that.
They drew the album covers for America.
Huh.
The band America. Yeah.
Very interesting.
Yeah. And they're called America because they're kids of U.S. military that were stationed over in Germany during the Cold War.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Who knew?
Little nugatory nugget for the musical trivia world.
For my treasure trove of trivia?
Treasure trove of trivia. Excellent. Yes.
All right.
Sorry, I went on. I talk for a living. I'm sorry.
I know you do.
I'm going to take a drink of water. Give it a drink, Melly.
Anything I didn't ask that you really were expecting me to ask?
No, those were all pretty good questions. I was kind of surprised by some of them.
All my questions are done. I'm sorry if they weren't that exciting.
No, they were exciting.
I should have asked Mike to send out an email to people and say...
Well, you have his email. You could have done that.
I know, I didn't think of it.
It's a little late to think of that now.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
It is. But you're SOL.
Ooh, but maybe we could do it now, and then we could have you on again, if you're interested in that.
I don't know. I guess it would depend if people were interested.
Did you have fun?
This was entertaining enough or not. It was okay.
It was.
I was trying to keep it interesting. I mean, I know most of this stuff already. So I was trying to think about what other people would want to know.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I've been
Is there anything that you've
for so long?
I know. It's going to be 10 years we're married on Friday.
Yeah, but we're hanging around before that.
Yeah, about 5. Yeah, it's been 16 years almost.
I tell you.
Oh, I thought you were going to take us out of our...
Far too long.
Oh, I thought you were going to kill our G rating.
No, I don't say words like that. Not in public and certainly not on record. Please, I work with children.
You do. College-age
really.
children.
College-age
children. They are children.
How many of their parents have I talked to this week?
Really?
Yes.
That's lame. Lame.
Yes, I have talked to
If you're a parent of college-age children, do not call the college on behalf of your child. It's time to let them fail.
Explain to them what they need to do. Help them process it.
We're pontificating now.
We are.
We're totally off topic.
Stop.
Okay, so how do you want to wrap this one up, my love?
Well, thank you for the opportunity to interview you.
Thank you for doing it.
I hope it meets your listeners' expectations. If it doesn't, they can email Mike and ask questions that they would have liked me to ask, and I could come back on another episode and ask those questions.
Okay.
Because I don't know if it'll be interesting or not. I was just trying to come up with things that I thought, this might be interesting for other people to know.
Is there anything that you want to know about me that you...
Why do you snore sometimes?
Usually happens if I've had a drink before I go to bed.
I mean, I didn't really think that would be an appropriate question.
But that's a funny one, and I'm leaving that in. Anything else that you're just curious about, or that you wonder, why does his brain function that way? Because I know it is different. I can be difficult. I understand that.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't think it's anything. I think that's why we get along well, because like your little characters that come out, I play along with them.
Yes, you do.
I mean, I start having conversations with Louis DeGizmo and asking like what he's doing today and who he's going to hang around with and what he's going to see. And
you're not instantly like, stop.
No, it takes me a little bit.
Yeah, you get it.
And I mean, there were a couple, there's one guy in particular I don't like at all. So don't do it. I don't like him.
Why don't you like him?
He just sounds like he's got real mental health issues, and I don't care for him.
A little creepy?
He's a little creepy.
Okay, yeah.
He creeps me out a little.
We won't do that. I'll try not to.
I want to start counseling him, and that's not good.
No. Although it might help me. Anyway, I'm kidding. Well, listen, I know you took time to put all this stuff together, and I want to thank you.
Sure.
I love you.
I love you too, honey.
All right.
It's entertaining.
Thanks for playing along for this episode.
Sure.
And you know what? Thanks for all your support with everything that I do. I mean, I know I do some wacky things and travel and say, hey, I think I want to try this. And 99.9% of the time you usually say, okay, cool. So you're very supportive, and that's cool.
Well, good. I'm glad.
I'll keep you.
Because I blame you for everything anyway.
Very true. Say goodnight, Ann.
Good night, Ann.
All right.
Well, that was fun. I hope you enjoyed that. We had fun putting it together. I'll talk to you in the next episode, episode 51. Thanks for listening. Uncle Frank, why don't you wrap this up for us?
Our program originates in the Boston studios. We hope you'll join us again. Until then, we bid you au revoir, keep your chin up, and the best of luck.
Well, that's it for this episode of the VoiceOver Marketing Podcast. If you like this podcast, please subscribe to it at voiceovermarketingpodcast.com so you'll get notices of new episodes, and please share it with your friends and colleagues in the voiceover world. Also, it would be a huge help if you'd like this podcast and rate it on iTunes to help keep it near the top of the list. Feel free to share your comments and questions about this episode and future topics you'd like discussed at voiceovermarketingpodcast.com. And if you'd like more information on one-on-one coaching where we focus on growing your business, feel free to drop me a line at my cyber assistant's email address at mike@johnmelly.com. Thanks for listening. Now go out there and share your voice with the world.